Hi everyone, this is Becca from Becca's Music Room. I'm a music teacher who talks about teacher tips, teacher life, teacherpreneurs, and all things that might hopefully make your life just a little bit easier. Today I'm here with a TPT question, and that is something I was really curious about last year, and it is, should I make seasonal products? If you enjoy this video or find it helpful, please make sure you like, subscribe, and share so that other people can find it as well. All right, so what you do in your Teachers Pay Teacher shop is very, very personal. So I'm not going to, disclaimer, I'm not going to sit here and say you should use seasonal products or you should not use seasonal products, but I am going to guide you through a couple of things to think about and kind of questions to ask yourself so that you can decide whether seasonal products are going to work for your TPT shop or not. So when you're thinking about seasonal products, the first question you want to ask yourself is, am I using it in my classroom? So if you are still in the classroom and you're making stuff for your classroom, if you're making it for your classroom, put it on TPT, like no matter what it is. If you're using it for your classroom, then you know teachers want it, you know it's useful, and it's already halfway there or more than halfway there, so you might as well just go ahead and put it on Teachers Pay Teachers. So number one, am I using it in my classroom? If yes, definitely put it up. If no, go on to question number two. It's kind of like choose your own adventure over here today on the YouTube. So question number two is, how much time do you have? So when it comes to seasonal products, the hard thing is that you need to gain enough traction for it to be worth it. Now, of course, you can always gain from it next year, but especially when you have seasons like we had, you know, fall, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, all back to back to back to back. That can be really difficult when it comes to like all of the seasonal things happening at the same time. Because if you're in the situation like right now, I am 2 weeks before Thanksgiving and I'm like, oh crud, I didn't get my Thanksgiving stuff out. And so I need to get it out really, really quickly. And then even then, like you'll get a lot of search traffic for it, but you may not get very much like organic traffic from Pinterest because there's just not a lot of time for people to find your resources between now and then. So now, does that mean you can't put your product up? No, because again, you can always use it next year. You can still gain from it. Y'all, I sell Nutcracker sub plans in the summer. Like, it is ridiculous how many Nutcracker sub plans I have sold in like the middle of random seasons. And I'm like, the Nutcracker is Christmas. Do you not know this? Not that I'm complaining about sales, but still. So you don't necessarily need to be stressed out about that. However, if you have a very limited time, like especially if you're in the classroom, for how much product creation you can do, then maybe seasonal products, or at least depending on how much time there is before the season, isn't the best idea. So, you know, if you're a week ahead or 2 weeks ahead, I would say probably not. If you're like a month ahead of whatever the season is, or if you're at the very beginning of the season, like if you did fall or winter and it's like the very beginning of fall or winter, like that's fine. But if you're, I would say, less than 2 weeks ahead of the holiday or season, don't bother. Unless you are just really wanting to get the product out there and you're excited to have it up and ready to go next year. So you could always write it down in a notebook to remember next year, or put it in like a folder and mark it with, you know, like next year I do this in this month so that you can get it done then. All right, and the third question you need to ask yourself is, how many products do I have? So if you have like 2 products, I probably wouldn't go with seasonal products. But if you have 200 products, then seasonal products are probably a good idea, just because you have enough of a base of things that it will not be difficult for you to add more in seasonal products. Because the thing about seasonal products is, again, you're pretty much only going to get sales during a certain amount of time, unless you apparently make things for the Nutcracker. But anything else, you're only going to sell at a certain period of time. So you have to be okay with that. Now, hopefully you'll get lots of sales during that period of time. But still, it's just, you need to think about it that way. So if you only have a couple of products, I would say don't bother with seasonal products unless you're making them for your classroom already. If you have plenty of products that are evergreen that can be sold any time of the year, go for the seasonal products because frankly, they're just a lot of fun and I enjoy them. Also be aware that seasonal products can help boost sales during a certain period of time. So if you are having maybe like 1 month of the year that's a little bit slower, seasonal products for that month could be really helpful to gain some more traction. So for example, I have noticed that November has seemed to be significantly less profitable than the months before. So I expected my sales to go down a lot in October because we were over that beginning of the year, but October still stayed pretty consistent. And then we got to November and that's when my sales started to go down a little bit more. So because of that, I'm thinking, okay, maybe this year, maybe next year, I need to make some more seasonal products for November, like maybe some Thanksgiving stuff or Veterans Day things so that I can kind of boost sales during that month. Also, I remember last year, so last year I had just opened my TPT shop in September and we were struggling still. It was like $7 in September, $7 in October, and then in November, I finally actually like made a little bit of money. I think I got like $40 or $50. You can, if you're really curious, you can check it out in my things I learned in my first 6 months of TPT, which includes income reports as well as everything else. And so when I got to December, I sold a lot because I had a lot of seasonal products because I was using them in my classroom. So I had the Nutcracker sub-plans that I made for my students, and I had the 12 Days of Christmas PowerPoint that I made for my students, and I had snowman matching games that I made for my students. So again, I normally wouldn't have done that because I had maybe 50 products at the time, but I did it because I was making them for my students. So I had a lot of seasonal products in December. So December went really well for me. But on the Facebook groups, all the TPT people were like, has anyone else noticed that I'm like not making any money in December? So I kind of think that that is one of the big things in December specifically, is that maybe people are buying like almost entirely holiday themed stuff and not really anything else. I mean, some stuff, but not as much as other seasons. So again, my point in all that saying is that if you see that your sales are declining, seasonal products are a great way to boost sales at a certain time. So whether you should make seasonal products is definitely up to you and specific to your shop. It just depends on what you are doing, what your shop is about, what you're interested in, and what you want to make, and how many products you have, how long you've been around. But I hope these questions were helpful to help you think through whether or not seasonal products are right for your shop right now. Hopefully this video was early enough to help you out during the, like, you know, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, all the things happening at the same time. But you could decide whether or not you wanted to make things for those seasonal times, or if you just want to make things that are evergreen at the moment and maybe work on seasonal stuff later. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you like, subscribe, and share so other people can find it as well. Please excuse my dogs barking in the background, and have a wonderful, wonderful week.